Hey friend, Michelle Dennis Evans here. Welcome to Creator to Write, where we turn blank pages into finished work. You'll be encouraged, inspired, and learn practical strategies to move forward with your writing, whether you're just starting out or ready to level up your craft. Now for today's episode. Today I'm joined with the lovely Susan J. Bruce. Welcome to the show, Susan. Tell us a little bit about you, what you write and who you write for.
Okay, well, my name is Susan J. Bruce. I write cozy mystery with a twist. My very first book was a young adult book, and then last 2 3 years I've sort of changed tack and looked at writing mystery that's light-hearted with lots of twists and a side of romance. I think that during the COVID years, I lost my appetite for darker stuff and want books that are fun and can uplift me as I uplift others. Does that make sense?
Yeah, awesome. And have you always written, or has it been a later in life journey? When did you start to know you wanted to be a writer?
Oh, that is a really big question. When I was at school, going through my school years, I liked writing, I liked all things English, but my two best subjects were English and biology. And so when I was coming up to going to uni, I was thinking, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to go and do, and I loved animals, so I thought, well, veterinary science, if I can get in, or journalism. And so I tossed these up again and again and, overthought it as I usually did, and then pushed the button on veterinary science and I got in. And so my life went in that direction for a while. And so reading and writing or anything to do with that took a back seat. Then I went and studied theology and studied ministry here in South Australia. And I had to do more like nonfiction writing, and people were saying, "Oh, you write well." Oh, good, thank you, etc. So but it kind of left it at that level, and I was basically working about 20 years ago now, it's just a long time ago, in a veterinary role, which I did not like because I was being bullied. Most vet clinics are fine to work in. This one wasn't. And I thought, I don't want to do this anymore. What else could I do? And I had this moment where I went bang, 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 bang through my past, my history, and I thought, oh, I wouldn't mind writing.
Mm.
I have no idea what to do now. I walked over to my desk, picked up a veterinary news magazine, and flicked over to the back page, and there was this advertisement saying, "Do you write and have a veterinary background?" And I went, "What?" And so I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. I will ring them up, and I didn't think anything would happen. And they said, "Oh, yeah, great. We'll send you something to do for an article, and you can start this month." And so for several months, run for a couple of years actually, I was doing, 3 or 4 articles a month. And for this vet news magazine, there were more newsy things rather than technical journal type things, which I loved, like science journalism. And I did that for a while until sort of things changed, life changed, and I began to have a heart for. I really wanted to write fiction.
Mhm.
And when I married my husband, Mark, and we came back to South Australia, he introduced me to someone who was studying at Tabor. And I was like, oh, I would love to do that. I would love to do that. And so I ended up enrolling at Tabor in the grad dip. And then I did the master's and wrote my first novel there as part of that. And I
That would be
thought,
a master's in creative writing, was it?
in creative writing, yeah, Tabor Adelaide. And oh, it's just wonderful. Just the combination of the intellectual stimulation and a chance to learn how to write well was fantastic. So that's what got me hooked on writing, and I realized that I wanted to write more for the mainstream
Mhm.
rather than for for Christians. I mean, I think it's partly because it's what I've always read. I didn't become a Christian until I was an adult at uni. I wasn't really reading Christian fiction apart from C.S. Lewis and, Narnia and all that kind of thing and Tolkien. Yeah, I discovered that, I loved writing. I loved the creative word, and I love the power of words to impact people and to uplift them. And I think that's why I write what I write nowadays, because, I want to bring something that I want to be the kind of writer that someone goes, oh, it's been a hard week. It's just been hell this week. Oh, there's a new Susan J. Bruce book out. Oh, great. That's my weekend sorted. And I want to be the author that the person picks that book up and reads it and feels better about the world for a while. And then it lets them go off and slay their own dragons in their real life.
I
So,
love that mission. That is just beautiful. And I think everyone needs a little bit of escapism here and there, and
mm.
just to leave their world. And that's right, just feel good about things for a while and then go back into their world and deal with it.
Yeah, I think we learn a lot of we learn things like from reading. We learn empathy. We learn how other people work. We learn we see a character deal with a problem and think, hey, that's a bit like my problem. I could maybe try something like that.
Mm,
So reading it isn't just escape, I don't think. It's actually allowing people to put on a different life for a while.
hmm
And with me, it's usually solving a mystery, maybe a bit of a slow burn romance in the background, or in my latest book that's going to be published soon, more in the foreground because the love interest gets accused of murder in book two in my series. So that sort of causes a bit of havoc. But people living vicariously through a character's life, encountering problems, encountering perseverance,
mm,
encountering heartache, encountering hope. And I think for me, hope is one of the big things. It's one of the things that we need. Doesn't matter who we are, it doesn't matter what walk of life we're in. If we can have hope, then we can keep on going. It's where we start to fall apart is when we start to lose hope. If I can bring hope for a little while and empower people, then I've done my job.
I love that. Absolutely. And yeah, growing through what we read, we grow through learning, we grow in that
Mm,
empathy, we understand somebody else's point of view better. Absolutely.
mm.
And tell me, Susan, have you made any mistakes along the way?
Oh, how long have you got? Um, okay, probably quite a few. One of them is as a writer, like when I began writing, I went and I did writing at table, which was wonderful because it really encouraged me and empowered me. And then I kind of thought, oh, well, now I need to learn about marketing and stuff like that. And I need to learn how to do this and I need to learn how to do that. I spent too much time learning how to do rather than doing. I spent too much time trying to make the perfect website rather than to talk about my writing rather than actually writing. And yeah, I allowed myself to get distracted by good things rather that were probably still needed to be done, but they were things that I should probably have put to the side to get the next book done and the next book done and the next book done first. And so failing to prioritize time for my writing and getting caught up in procrastinating through peripheral things. I can
Mm,
procrastinate very easily. Another one was big one was not going for it when I had an opportunity to go for it. Back in 2014, my life just the way things were arranged, I had the opportunity to basically take a year off to do writing and maybe other creative stuff like my art and stuff like that I do. But could I trust in that year? Could I put that work aside for a year and just do my writing? No, I kept on, I'd apply for this job and then it would be horrible and I'd do this. And I basically ruined that opportunity. And that was in 2014 at the beginning, well, not really at the right at the beginning, but in the independent writing heyday, the indie gold rush days. And if I'd
mm.
got going then, my life would probably look very different from what it looks like now. So my my biggest mistake there was not seizing the day the way that I probably should have. And there's been
Mm.
lots of others along the way too, like taking too long reviewing one book. My very first book that I wrote, I probably rewrote it about three or four times or certain sections of it.
Hmm
And rather than just getting on and writing the next one and the next one and the next one. Yeah, so there's a few there.
Yeah, and I guess for
If
the
I
the
want.
business of writing, there is so much if for an indie author and even just an
Mm,
upcoming author, there is so much of the peripheral around.
mm,
I love how you've said that to prioritize the writing time because
mm.
it does. It takes a long time to write and then knowing when to stop revising as well.
I think it's Becca Syme who is quite big on this, that there are certain stages to an author's career. And we tend to forget that there's a very long, sometimes and sometimes it feels too long, the product development stage, where
Mm.
our focus is learning craft, learning how to develop a good product, and learning how to produce good books. Now we're still putting them out, we're still doing all the other stuff, but the focus of that product development stage is key, I think. And
Mm.
we sometimes get too caught in the overwhelm rather than focusing in on that thing.
Yeah, and we met in a writing community here in Australia. What have you
Mhm.
learnt through the writing communities that you've been part of?
Oh, I've learnt everything. Not everything. Um, Going and doing the masters as I did really was a kind of writing community, and I learned a lot there about really good writing and how to write good prose and all that kind of stuff. But as far as business of being an author, as far as how to publish, how to start to put yourself out there, all of that has come from the writing communities. There've been I have been part of faith-based communities like Christian Writers Down Under and Australasian Christian Writers. Moving into the more mystery writing space, the forget what it's called now, Indie Writers Cozy Mystery Clubhouse,
Mhm.
fantastic group. Also, the Writing Gals is another one. There's a whole host of people who are willing to help. And that's one thing about the writing community. When you start, if you're not part of a writing community, you can easily be prey to, there's a lot of predators out there who, you've come in with your book and they say, oh, look, you can publish that book. It will only cost you $30,000. And you kind of go, uh, and basically it's a ripoff, Vanity Press. Whereas if you're in writing community, you can go, hey, someone contacted me about this. Is this a good deal? And people will say, no, 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 don't go anywhere near that. And so there's that kind of baseline protection you can get there. But there's also encouragement. People who have, been there, done that, and what you're going through is normal. Oh, is it?
Mhm.
And yeah, here's what you can do. Here's a way to move forward. Like I'm to the point where I'm just beginning to consider using ads. And I've been holding back because I'm terrified of wasting money
Yeah.
going down that track. But having more than once my second book comes out, I'll start to do that to a small extent. Without having writing communities to ask questions, I would be paralyzed rather than just
Mhm.
scared of the process. So there's been times when I've been sick of Facebook and sick of some of the stuff that comes up there. But I kind of think, oh, maybe I should get off Facebook. Maybe I should get off that community. And then I think, no, I need my writing communities. That's what keeps me informed, keeps me hopeful, helps me to perhaps, like the writing world is continually changing, and especially the indie publishing world where I find myself. And there's always a new challenge, and then there's always a new solution. If you're part of a community, you can learn and grow. And yeah, it's been a real help to me, as well
So
as
much.
procrastination sometimes too.
Yeah. Friendship as well. Friendship and
Oh,
values are in
definitely.
those groups.
Definitely. I've made some long-term friends through
Mm-hmm.
those groups and people who I've got some friends, good friends online that I've never actually met face to face. And others I've only met a handful of times, yet the people who I really like and trusted would call in my inner circle of friends. So it's
Yeah,
great. Mm.
that's very cool. And looking forward, what are you most excited about?
Getting books out, getting emails from readers who say, "Oh, look, I really loved your book," or I want to get that email that says, "Oh, I picked that up on Friday and it just saved me over the weekend." Uh, like I said before, I'm most excited about getting books out, getting more readers. I want to have lots of happy readers. I want to get lots of stories out there that are of good quality that I'm proud of, and have happy readers devour them and be uplifted by them. And if I can do that, I think the rest of it will follow. I would like to make an income from my writing. I'd like my writing to be a business, but I think the way forward in doing that is having readers who love what you write. The more I can do that, the more excited I'll be.
Absolutely. Thank you for watching, everyone. And please hit that like and subscribe button. Go find Susan on all of her links, her socials, and everything, so you can have a look at her books. Thank you for
That's so
sharing
true.
that. Go
Yeah,
grab her
my great book.
books.
Yes. Buy lots. Buy lots of
And
books.
buy lots and leave
Yeah.
reviews because that's a lovely way to support
Oh,
authors as
please
well.
do.
Please leave reviews. And before we go, is there any parting words that you would love to share with the wannabe writer or the new writer out there?
I would say the most important thing is to keep going. You, as a writer, you will have highs and lows, but you only fail if you give up. Your job as a writer might be to serve a small group of people. It could be to write for the masses. It doesn't really matter. But just don't give up. Keep going and put your heart into it. And yeah, who knows where it will take you. Keep going.
Awesome. Thank you, Susan, for joining me today. And put those words down on paper because you don't know where it will lead to. So just
Mm,
have a go.
get into it. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you next time on the Created to Write show. Thanks for hanging around till the end. Please remember to leave a review if you've enjoyed this podcast and share it with a friend. You never know who is wanting to get those words out of their head and into a book.